Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with Dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship, and thank God for Maria Alfoon from Midnight Rose Equestrian, because she is taking care of my knots.
Your knots?
Yes, the knots that I have in my back and shoulders are horrendous.
So if you're listening on the radio, Maria is massaging Louisa while we're on the air.
Yes, thank you, Maria. You are amazing. Maria can massage people and horses. If you have a horse and you would like her to come, she is mobile. She can come to your farm. She can take care of you and your horse, and she can make you and your horse actually work together very, very well as a unit when you're riding, competing, schooling, trail riding, whatever you're doing. She can make everything work together really well by watching you ride and seeing what your needs are and what the horse's needs are, and then putting those together into a very healthy package to make that all work really, really well. So she's definitely somebody you want to reach out to. She is an equestrian herself, a very, very good equestrian and very knowledgeable. And she knows how you should look and feel and how the horse should look and feel. And I can, right now, personally endorse her.
In the middle
As
of
we
endorsement.
speak, yes, absolutely. I want to say, first of all, that the show is actually airing in its initial form on what we call in England Boxing Day. Now, by the time you hear this on the radio, it may indeed not be Boxing Day anymore, but Boxing Day is officially on the 26th of December. And coincidentally, that is also Maria's birthday.
Woo!
At the last full moon of 2023.
So we want to say happy birthday. We're going to sing to Maria. Well, Pete's going to sing.
Oh, no.
Yes. Are you ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maria. Happy birthday to you. Now that everybody's turned the channel up, I made it short and sweet and to the point.
We love her to pieces. You can find Midnight Rose Equestrian and reach out to her. She'd be happy to come out and give you a consultation, take a look at you and your horse. So we love her to pieces and very grateful to have her.
So why do they call it Boxing Day?
Okay, so I was going to explain that. So Boxing Day in England used to be, back in the day, when the servants had the day off after Christmas. And the folks they worked for boxed up lots of goodies for them from Christmas. And because they couldn't have the day off on Christmas Day because there'd be a lot of company and family and people and they would be working. So they would give them the day after off and box up lots of goodies for them so that they could have their Christmas Day on Boxing Day. So that is why I think I should be off.
Okay. So happy Boxing Day. So if you're a servant or work for somebody, this is your day off.
That's right, Boxing Day. So so quite a special holiday in England. And actually there's a very famous Boxing Day hunt or Boxing Day hunts that always went on Boxing Day. So all the people would gather at the pub at the meeting point to go out on a fox hunt. And Boxing Day fox hunt.
Is that
would
where
be
the drinking
quite
before fox hunting
Yes,
started?
that's where the champagne brunch and all that good stuff happened on Boxing Day. So Boxing Day was quite a day for the hunt and to go out and have a lot of fun after a big Christmas. So we hope all of you had a wonderful Christmas. We hope that Santa managed to get that horse down the chimney. But we did discuss
what did you want for Christmas?
Yes.
You said you asked Santa and we never got to know. So
well,
I wanna know
he
now.
offered to let me sit in his lap and tell him what I would like for Christmas. So Santa's not really an equestrian usually, so I don't know if he was quite sure initially, but he thought about it for a second and realized what I said. And so I looked him straight in the eye and said, I would really like a Tennessee Walker. And he went, is that a horse? I said, and I'll make the chimney bigger for you. So we posted this on social media, and Olivia Fuller, of course, got it absolutely spot on with Tennessee Walking Horse. So she was absolutely right, which means that she gets a $25 gift certificate to Larson Hay and Seminole Feed. Oh, our mystery guest.
Mystery guest is
Our
on
mystery
the phone.
guest is on the phone. Hi, Chris.
How are you?
I'm very well. We have the one and only great horseman, Chris Cox, with us. Chris, it's lovely to have you with us on the phone.
Well, thank you for having me.
You are in Australia,
I am.
all the way
I'm
down
here.
under.
My family and I are visiting my father over here is 89 years old and kind of slipping in his health a little bit, so we're over here. But we had a big cyclone come in last week, and it has rained like 100 inches of rain around here, so
Wow.
a lot of the roads are closed down, and so it's been quite an experience.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that is an experience. Well, I'm here with Dancing Pete Roder. I think you know Dancing Pete. I think you've met him at some Pat Pirelli events and things, or events that Pat Pirelli was at some time back, and he was very excited to hear that you were going to be on the show with us to chat about your visit here to Ocala in January.
You bet. How you doing, Pete?
I'm doing great. How are you, Chris?
I'm great, thank you.
I'll tell you that Pete doesn't get real excited about anybody being on the show. So seeing him, his face, that was fantastic.
Oh, I tell everybody all the time when Chris Cox, when I introduced myself and he knew who I was, I tell this story all the time. I said, you know you've gotten somewhere when somebody of that caliber knows who you are.
So, Chris, you're going to be visiting us at the end of January.
Yes, yeah, we had a little bit of time there for a little while. We slipped in a clinic there just south of Ocala around Lady Lake, and my family and I are going to go down there for a few days as well, and just trying to fit in something there. I haven't been there in a few years, and so was looking forward to that.
Well, we're excited, and you're going to have a clinic here, is that correct?
I am, yes.
That's wonderful.
A horsemanship clinic that we have. I think it's already full, but we've got, as far as spectators are welcome to come and attend the clinic. It'll be fun.
We'll absolutely do that. And that's going to be just south. That's going to be just down near Lady Lake, not too far from Ocala. So we know we're going to have a lot of spectators that listen to the show coming to watch you. And we sure love to see you in action. I know Pete and I will be there for sure,
Yes.
and Maria. And we're going to come down and visit and watch you showing us how to do it.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll just there to help a few people with their horses and have a good time. So.
Well, we're celebrating 10 years of doing the Horse Talk show, and you were in our very first year. You were one of our guests, so it'll be lovely to get a chance to see you again and chat some more.
And like I said when I met you at the Road to the Horse, class act as usual. I love when somebody of your caliber says that you're just going to help some people out with their horses. That's great.
Yeah, that's amazing, Chris. Thank you. And hey, listen, we wish you a wonderful 2024. We can't wait to see you here in January, and we wish your dad well. My dad is 88 and also has been through some health challenges, so we'll certainly keep him in our prayers and wish you all the best in the floods there, and hope you manage to have some good family time.
Well, I appreciate that, and all the best to you guys too. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody, and congratulations on your 10 years. You know, there's a lot of people that have started off with radio shows and haven't, and most of them don't get to 10 years, so you're doing something right. So congratulations.
Well, it's having great guests like you. That certainly helps.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. God bless. Take care, and we'll certainly see you soon in the horse capital.
Awesome.
All right. Take care.
Have a great day.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Chris. All right. Bye-bye.
That was the Chris Cox. We'll see you in a minute.
Yes, we'll be back.
This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference. Horsemen, are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip, built by horsemen for horsemen, is ready to revolutionize your world. The answer is in the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock your horse's health information. From driving to Grand Prix jumping, all horses, all breeds, and all disciplines. The future is in the integrity and transparency of all horse sports and in the safety of our horses. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. Broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show, brought to you this segment by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
In the studio here with Dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship and Maria Arfoon from Midnight Rose Equestrian. And we are bringing you our best of for 2023. These are segments you may have seen before, but we know you'll enjoy seeing them again.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Our broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Dancing Pete, sitting in for Louisa from Complimentary Horsemanship, and I have my right hand, Betsy, from Larson Hay.
Yep.
She's sitting in to help me out while Louisa's gone, and we have a fun group with us. This is the Gomez brothers, And they're sponsored by who, Betsy?
They're sponsored by Larson Hay.
All right, we have Wyatt.
No,
Oh, no, Wyatt. I was going far.
Yep.
I made a mistake. Wyatt,
You pressed.
far left, and Theodore right beside me.
correct.
So, what do you guys do?
I team rope, heading in, healing. And I heal.
And you heal? Okay. How old are you guys?
I'm 14 years old.
14. And how old are you?
11.
11?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you guys been riding?
I've been riding since I was about 2 years old.
Wow.
And I've been riding since I was 3.
Wow. Been riding longer than most people.
Mom and Dad have you mounted on some nice horses? What do you ride for horses?
We ride quarter horses.
And Theodore, what do you ride?
A quarter horse, Palomino quarter horse, and I have one sorrel
The sorrel
quarter horse.
And if we're watching on TV, we're getting to see your horse, and Theodore's riding his Palomino, right?
Yeah.
And there's Wyatt. And what color's your horse?
Palomino.
Palomino.
Oh, my
you guys are into the Palominos. So
Nice shirt.
do you got Larson Hay? Yeah, nice shirt. It's got Larson Hay across it. So do you guys rope together or?
We do. Currently, I head and he heals.
Okay.
But coming into this next rodeo season, we're doing Florida or National Low Britches, and we won't be able to rope together.
Oh. And
Because-
that is because he's younger?
He's younger, and I'm gonna move up in an age group just because of our age.
So, do you have partners that you picked out to ride with, or
Yes, ma'am.
you have?
We pick out partners ahead of the season, and so
now
that we
you-
go into the season with partners.
And you have to learn to practice with them,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that'll change
Wow.
things up, won't it,
Yeah,
Pete?
that'll change up things a lot.
Yeah.
So, heading, what does that entail? So, we have audience members that have no idea what we're talking about. So, explain a little bit about roping and the head part of it.
So, heading, you pretty much are the first person to rope the steer, and you have to rope the head of the steer, dally, and then pull the steer so the healer can come and rope the legs.
Oh, very good. So, as the healer, tell us a little about what you do.
You have, whenever the header ropes it, then you have to wait until it turns the corner, and then you throw and dally, and then stop.
So, you have to catch the back legs? Oh, wow. So, what if you only catch one leg?
It's +5.
+5 on your time? Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you don't catch it all with the hind legs,
It's a no time.
no time. And if you don't catch the steer,
It's a no time.
oh, a lot of pressure, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, do you ever get mad at one another? Like, oh, you missed, and I caught, but you missed, or
It happens.
It happens.
But normally, we just understand that we don't always win, so.
that's
Wow.
a great attitude.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's good.
And being a healer, it's a lot easier, right? Because you can blame him.
He doesn't.
If he doesn't catch, you can blame him. And if he doesn't handle the steer well, you can still blame him, right? You
Yeah.
got to talk.
Do you practice at home, or do you go to other arenas to practice?
We have an arena at our house. We practice there. We try to practice every day, but we sometimes go to friends and other people that do practices to run steers and
So you practice with different cattle and different
cows,
situations.
different arenas, different lengths of boxes, and all that.
So the different length of box.
Some of them are like deeper, and some of them are shorter boxes.
So
see.
you're stretching the steer out and the time stops right here. If you're on TV, they're showing some runs and pictures.
Look at that head loop, buddy.
Very nice head loop.
That's a beautiful flat loop right there, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And you got your horse right behind the steer to the left of it. That's really nice. Focusing on your catch before your turn, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And then when you see that, what is your move, Wyatt?
Whenever he turns the corner, then I turn the corner with him.
And you're ready to.
So what's easier, heading or heeling?
Do you ever switch?
I head and heel. I'm going to start healing a little bit more. I'm still going to head in some jackpots with him, but I'm going to start healing a little bit. But heading is you're the first person, so you always get the first loop, but the healer always depends on you. So it's kind of...
It's a team.
It's a team.
Team
The healer
sport.
doesn't always get a shot.
There
The
you
header
go.
does.
True. Now, do you have to use different horses if you're going to start healing? Do you use the same horse that you head on, or will you need a different horse?
Kind of depends. I'm going to use another horse. I've healed in the UF roping and other ropings with my same head horse, the Palomino. So,
did you go to the roping in the swamp?
Yes, ma'am.
That's held in Gainesville at the University of Florida.
Oh, I was like,
And
they were in the swamp and they were roping.
They call it the roping in the swamp.
Oh.
And it's, how many teams did they get there?
In the number 8, they had about, I think, 316 teams.
Whoa.
So
very competitive.
Very competitive.
Very competitive. And you win money.
Yeah, they had a lot of money.
So how many guys did you rope with? Just your brother, or did you?
I did 5 runs. I did one with him, and because you can only go with one person one time.
Okay.
And then I did with 4 other people.
So was this like a jackpot?
It's a jackpot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Now, you both have belt buckles on.
Yes, ma'am.
What about that belt buckle? What is that one
This
for?
belt buckle, I win in SRC for team roping head.
And what does that stand for?
Swanee River Riding Club.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And your buckle?
Wyatt?
SRC and for breakaway.
And
breakaway. Okay, so what is breakaway, Wyatt?
You have to rope the calf out on the head, and then it pops off of your horn.
Okay, so it's not tied or you dally off. Okay.
So it's just a fast time, and you stop your horse, and the rope keeps going?
Yes.
Very good. So do you guys practice with cattle where you're just moving them, or is this you just rope?
We do. We practice with cows, and we move them through our alleyway in our arena and put them in the chute and then run the steers like if we were at a rodeo.
So you have cattle at your home?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
We have about probably 16 head of steers.
Wow. This is a serious endeavor by your whole family, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Does your dad rope? Dad
does rope.
Does your mom rope?
She used to rope.
Ah.
She's still roping a little bit.
So who did you learn from?
Dad.
Dad? Is he the better roper?
He's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Dad keeps your horses shod.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's a farrier.
Yeah, he's a farrier, and Mom keeps it all together and probably helps you with your entries.
Well, that was the sound that we got to wrap up. Stay tuned.
This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to PatMyersElectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show, brought to you this segment by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
In the studio here with dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship and Maria Arfoon from Midnight Rose Equestrian. And we are bringing you our best of for 2023. These are segments you may have seen before, but we know you'll enjoy seeing them again. Back on the third segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Yes, he is fanning me because I ran to the CEP building and back. And yes, I'm unfit and I'm sweating. So this is the CEP Equine Studios in the CEP's Equine building for the Equine Initiative, and we are the only chamber in the world that has an Equine Initiative. We've had it since 2016, and we've done lots and lots of exciting stuff with the Equine Initiative, and I had to run over to the CEP because I had to get one of these, because guess who's on the front? I think I'll have him autograph it. What do you think? Woo-hoo. I wanted to get him one and us one, and so we need a stack of these big time here. But this is Aaron Vale on the front, and this is Aaron Vale in person. And there is probably about 50,000 of these made that went out to all of our CEP partners at the annual luncheon last week and went out all around town. These will be everywhere for the entire year. They're the relocation guide. For Ocala, and every hotel, every business, every CEP partner, when we have over 1,600 of those, gets one of these. So it has our directory of all of our partners in it, and lots of other great stuff.
But the best part, it has Aaron Vale on the cover. On the cover, jumping with a helmet. Because when he walked in, I didn't recognize him because I'd only seen pictures and videos with him with a helmet on.
That's funny.
So it's nice to see your civilian look.
Well, thank you.
This is the civilian look, yes.
I don't know, that helmet might help.
And which horse is this on the front?
This is a horse, Boreal de Talma is her name. And a friend of mine, I was competing the mare for my friend Mike Connors. And now his wife, mother of his children, is now competing her, and they're doing quite well also.
Amazing. So you have to send her a copy as well.
I'm going to have to
send her. You better have another one.
Yeah, I've got to give this to Mike because that's his horse on there.
There you go. So. That's fantastic. Aaron, you're the biggest name in, as far as the USA goes, you are absolutely the biggest name in Grand Prix jumping. Your success just supersedes you. There's nobody, I think, in the horse world that doesn't know your name. That's pretty awesome accolade to have. You definitely soar over the jumps. I know you couldn't help it.
Soar is the word of the day.
It's the word. SOAR is the word of the day.
Not soaring.
Pete will struggle to catch up with me, I'm sure.
Yes, I will.
But when I read about you growing up around horses, and I read that you were on a horse the day before you were born, and you were on a horse the day
before I was born and the day after I was born.
And the day after.
I don't know why they didn't get me on a horse the day I was born, but that was their mistake.
The day after. So tell us about your family. You grew up with a family who have been in the horse world, been great success in the horse world. So starting out right from the beginning, you were around horses and loved them.
Yep, grew up on a farm with horses. My dad was a vet and also a rider and trainer, and my mother was a trainer and licensed instructor. She went to London to get certified, which was a thing. Nobody's certified barely these days, but even way back then, she made the effort and spent a summer in England doing a course and all that to become certified. So, I grew up with horses and instruction and all that right from the get-go.
Right from the get-go.
So what did they train for?
They 100 jumpers. 100 jumpers. Back in those days, it wasn't quite like it is now, but 100 jumpers, and they actually ran schooling shows at the farm I grew up on once in a while, and I was scared to canter back then, so those before I was even jumping, they'd let me show in every under saddle class during the horse show, and when it went time to canter, they said, you can go stand in the center of the arena. And one day I was too embarrassed to go stand in the center of the arena, and I just stayed out on the rail and cantered, and that's when I started cantering, probably 5 years old or something.
Really? That's wonderful.
Wow.
So you went up kind of all the way through your childhood. You did not just jumping, you've done equitation and excelled at that. You didn't like that, right?
Well, I mean, it's not
as exciting,
it's
is it?
not as exciting, but I mean, it's...
You don't get a chance to soar over the jumps.
The idea is that it teaches you the basics of horsemanship for our discipline and all that. So,
yes, that's true.
So there is some good to come from it, even though it's not, it's more like school than recess,
Right, yes.
So for someone that doesn't know what you do, explain the competition part and what you're looking for.
Well, we need a horse that's athletic enough to jump big fences. I mean, the top of the sport, the Olympics or whatever, you're going to be jumping fences that are 5'2", 5'4", a course nearly 17 jumping efforts at that height that's quite demanding. So, you need an athletic horse. The aerobic part of it, I mean, is almost like a horse running a race, at the Breeders' Cup or whatever. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, as well as, to get a horse schooled to this level of jumping, probably they're not going to be ready for that until they're 10, 11, 12 years old. So it's a long road to get there. It's a lot for the horse and the rider, so it just it's a job. It's a job. It's a dedication to get to Grand Prix or even international Grand Prix, which is the top of the sport.
So it's a timed event?
Yes. I mean, when we're jumping a course, you have to complete the course within a certain amount of time, and then everybody that jumps a clean round and is qualified then comes back and jumps a shorter course to see who's the fastest with the least faults. So there's quite a bit of speed involved in it.
So it's a clear round for the first go round, and there's faults if you knock one down or refuse one.
Right
there's Kinza.
Yeah,
look at
Kinza.
that. Look at that pony too.
Yeah.
What a cutie.
She's just 6 years old right there.
And how is she's 9 now?
9 now.
9 now. So that was about 3 years ago.
So
how about you? Did you have little ponies when you were little?
Not. I had one pony when I was quite young, and Miss Pickles.
Miss Pickles.
She was a super. Well, I don't know if she was a super pony, but I remember she used to get loose all the time. My parents would turn her out in the arena because they didn't have the other horses got priority to the grass paddocks, and they'd shut the gate with a leather strap, and she'd chew through the leather strap, and then she'd be gone.
Naughty ponies.
She'd be gone for a couple days at that point. We had to go find my pony. Sometimes she was gone for a while, but she always came back.
She'd come back
always
and
found
get hungry
her.
eventually, right, and come and return.
So how tall are these jumps?
Those jumps are most of those in those pictures are 1.50 m, which is approximately 5 foot, just a notch under 5 foot.
That's amazing, isn't it? To think just a little bit.
So are you scared at all?
No, I mean, not with horses that you train and live with. I mean, you know what they can do, what they trust you to tell them to do, and they trust you and you trust them. I mean, Now, if it's a horse that, doesn't have that confidence or something, then I mean,
that can be.
You don't even want to be in there on a horse like that. I mean,
sure.
If the horse isn't confident enough to take a pretty good shot at what you're doing, there's no need to be at that level. That's not good horsemanship at that point.
We have to wrap this segment up, but stay with us on the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that can talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now, here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton! She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Hey there, horsemen. Are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip is ready to revolutionize your barn. Built by horsemen, for horsemen. Lip Chip knows how you ride. If you're tired of carrying around paperwork, dealing with long trailer lines, and juggling all your horse's details while trying to compete, then the answer is the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Each scan reveals everything you need to work, compete, and to protect your horses. View current health paperwork, pre-register for your next event, and even check in on your horse's health. Horsemen, let's keep our horses safe and make our lives at the barn a little easier. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com. Or find them on social media. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you for joining us. This segment brought to you by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with dancing Pete Roder from Complimentary Horsemanship and Maria Alfoon from Midnight Rose Equestrian. I'm getting a massage. I need one. What can I say? We're bringing you the best of, and I've said this before, that doesn't mean they aren't all the best. We've had some of the best segments this year we've ever had in the history of the show. But we're just airing a few of our favorites for you.
My favorite, your favorite, everybody on the show's favorite.
That's right. So we hope you enjoy this. Louisa Barton here in the CEP's Equine Studios with dancing Pete Roder from Complimentary Horsemanship. And our special guest this week in the studio with us is Nathan Greiner.
Woohoo!
Thank you for
Glad
being with us.
to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So I mentioned earlier, I actually met Nathan. Well, you knew Nathan.
I knew Nathan probably about 6 or 7 years ago. We met at farm that I used to stay at, and he was starting some horses, and then he was hanging out with a friend of mine, Fawn Anderson.
Yeah. That's how you met.
That's how we met.
And I met him at Aaron Vales in Williston, a US top show jumper, and got to kind of see him working with some horses and said, you'd be a really neat guest to have on the show. So here he is.
And then she called me and says, do you know Nathan? And I was like, yeah.
I figured you probably
he'd be
did.
a good... And I was like, oh, yeah. Really
he'd be
good
a great
one.
guest. Tell us, Nathan, a little bit of your background, how you got started in horses. Were you one of those kind of born in the saddle, or were you a later bloomer?
No, I was definitely a later bloomer. In that, growing up, I wanted to be around horses, didn't have the chance to, so it wasn't until I was 23. So I didn't have any exposure up till then. So I hit 23 and was able to get some opportunities with some people. And at the time, I had been working in the grocery business, and that was how I was feeding myself. And it was great, but the horse thing really interested me.
Yeah.
So I just kind of went after it. You kind of hear from a lot of people, it just becomes a passion, of course. And
it does.
It did.
A little bit addictive.
A little bit. A lot.
Yes.
And don't make that fool. He's 23 when he started, but he has got the experience where a lot of people go, oh, well, you haven't done it very long, where he didn't grow up doing it.
Yeah, well, so I was very fortunate that way. It would have been in 2008 that I ran into Buck, and I rode with him in a clinic, and then I thought, this is the guy I need to work for. And that opportunity then came in 2012 to go work for him. So
Buck Brandeman.
Yeah, Buck Brandeman.
The.
Yep.
The Buck.
The.
Yep.
There should be a the.
Yep. So as I was driving here, I was just kind of thinking, in life, there's times where you're really wanting something big, right? Well, then that something comes your way, and then you got to make that decision, right? Do I quit a life that I know? Because I grew up in the grocery business, and that's all my dad's ever known. My brother's in it, my uncle's in it, so it's very much a family thing. And I just said, I can't turn down this opportunity. I mean, opportunity of a lifetime, frankly.
Yeah.
So I said yes to that in 2012 and traveled with him for 5 years. And that's where I just got a ton of exposure and got to see a lot of people and horse combinations and see a lot of beautiful country. And that brought me down here as well. I started coming down to Florida in 2014 in the winters. So when I left Buck in 2017, I went out to California for 5 years, rode privately for a gentleman out there, and then was having the itch to get back down here, just knowing what's going on, and knowing that Aaron being down here and helping him out for the winters of like 14, 15, and 16. And he said, I'd love to have you back for a little bit. So...
And that would be the Aaron Vale.
Yeah.
That would be the Aaron Vale,
the Aaron Vale. And, when I came down in 2014, I did not know Aaron personally at the time.
Right.
And through working for Buck, he had always been mentioning Aaron's name and just said if there was one guy that I would let start a colt in a flat saddle, a jumping saddle, it'd be Aaron Vale because he can ride.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I was down here, I happened to reach out to him, and very thankful I did because we've just struck up a great friendship. And just being able to just help each other out's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, and he loves what you do. He told us that, he said, Nathan and I've got a really good partnership because he really knows how to give them that foundation that they need, to, so that I can get straight to business.
Right.
I haven't got to worry about all that startup. I can get right to what I need to do to compete, and to get the horses trained for my sport. And and he was very, he had a lot of really great things to say about what you did with his horses. So.
Yeah, and we're all trying to save each other time, right? And that, just like you had said, he has so many horses he has to climb on in a day. And a lot of those horses get imported, and a lot of them are nice horses, but there were some details that were lacking on the foundation side that in order for him to kind of take them to the next level, be able to help them out. So. And
everybody, we were talking about this a little bit before the show or on one of the breaks, but, everybody has a different idea, I think, of what is important for their horses to be good at and to know. And there are some people who are straight to business and don't worry about as much about the foundation and about this, and then there's those that do. And the difference that you see in the ring with that is if everything goes smoothly and if the course is what you think it's going to be, you're probably fine with straight to business horses. But if something goes slightly sideways or something's a little bit more technical than you thought it might be, and you don't have that good foundation, you're not going to win.
Right.
You're not going to excel because the horse doesn't know how to handle something different if it doesn't have a good start. And so I think that makes a difference.
Yes, without the foundation and just the latitude that you would have with them. That, like you said, if things go just a little bit wrong, there's no consistency. And maybe the horse goes great 1 out of 10 times. He could maybe be going good 6 out of 10 times. But when you're lacking those things and you don't know it, you're doing the best you can. But then when you know that you can do better and that the horses feel better ultimately, I mean, we all want to enjoy our horses, right? And they're expensive anyways. So we might as well enjoy them, but that takes some additional education.
And Aaron probably gets very talented horses that were probably pushed to get to a place.
Yes.
And you're going, oh, you missed kindergarten.
Let's go backwards. Yeah, exactly. It's like not going, it's like jumping straight to first grade and bypassing the kindergarten stage. And if you don't have that down, I think it makes a huge difference. And watching you riding the horses that you were riding there, and then watching Aaron doing what he was doing with the horses, the way he didn't just jump, he didn't just warm up, school a little bit, and then jump them. He warmed them up, schooled a little bit, jumped them, kept changing direction, kept taking them into a corner and making them stop and face out, and then backing them up, and then taking them over the cavaletti in both directions, and making them think and making them focus on him, not think, oh, this is the same thing we always do, let's just go over these jumps and I can go back to the barn. It was much more like, I'm going to get you to focus on me, and I might ask you to do something different in a minute. You think I'm turning to go to the next jump, but I'm going to tell you, no, we're going to go and stand in the corner for a minute.
And through all this, ultimately, it's like we want a horse that's adjustable.
Yes.
Rideable and adjustable. And it doesn't matter the breed or the discipline. You know, and especially in the jumping thing, you got to be on the mark. It's kind of a life and death thing, right? We're supposed to go over the jump, not through it.
Or go over it alone.
Right.
I did that back in the day a couple of times with some naughty ponies.
So, I've heard your stories, a couple stories about you riding with Buck. You told me about a 6-hour trip that there was no words spoken, which I would have gone nuts. But tell us a story about riding with Buck, or
the Buck.
The Buck Brannaman.
The Buck.
Right. Well, I mean, one, you know, he's been doing it for so long, right, that, I mean, he just kind of knows about how things are supposed to go heading down the road. And kind of one of those stories, the one that you kind of mentioned, he picked me up in Livingston, Montana at a truck stop. I was working up there that winter, and he shows up with the bus. He rolls right up, and I have my duffel bag, and I step on. It feels like it's out of the movies at this point.
Sounds like it.
You know,
The Horse Whisperer Part 2.
You know, and I mean, I just step on, and it's like, all right. And we were heading out to Spanaway, Washington, and it was second to the last clinic of the year. And you know, for me, I mean, I'm just thinking a dream's coming true here. You know, and it's just. It's like, well, what do you say? Well, not too much. You know, it's just kind of quiet time. We're heading down the road, you know, and all the while I'm just thinking what, you know, the opportunity that I'm getting to do. And like he said, look, he goes, you're going to get to see a lot of miles, you're going to get to see a lot of horses, and you're going to meet a lot of great people, you know. And it's just taking care of yourself so that you can be successful and all that, you know. And a lot of those stories, there would be clinics we'd wrap up at kind of 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, and then we'd be driving through the night to get maybe a 12-hour drive, and you roll in there in the morning, and you got horses to take care of, we're tired, you know, and you just had a full weekend. And when I started with them, his clinics were 4 days. So you just think you're going from essentially 6 a.m. until 5, 6 o'clock at night doing that 4 days in a row. And to get to take care of the people and the horses, and, you know, him first and foremost, right?
Hold that thought for 1 second. That whinny meant we have to go to break, but we're going to get Nathan back with us for another segment. He's going to finish his sentence that I had to stop him in the middle of. So stay with us. We're coming up with the second half of the show.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you for joining us. This segment brought to you by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with dancing Pete Roder from Complimentary Horsemanship and Maria Alfoon from Midnight Rose Equestrian. I'm getting a massage. I need one. What can I say? We're bringing you the best of, and I've said this before, that doesn't mean they aren't all the best. We've had some of the best segments this year we've ever had in the history of the show. But we're just airing a few of our favorites for you.
My
over this
favorite,
holiday.
your favorite, everybody on the show's favorite.
That's right. So we hope you enjoy this. Louisa Barton here, host of the Horse Talk Show, in the studio with dancing Pete Roder from Complimentary Horsemanship. And we have the honor of having Chester Weber with us. Very special evening. He is the top-ranked U.S. driver. And his
and
wonderful...
horses.
Yes, right. We have to say that.
Driving.
There you go. Look, see? Look at that. Chester's had some absolutely amazing experience. I think he was the youngest driver ever, right, to get onto the
U.S. team, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
1993, that was a couple of days ago. Just a minute ago.
He's even been congratulated by the Queen of England, which is a really big deal, you know, bless her, God rest her soul. Yeah. But Chester co-owns an event called Live Oak International, which is here in the horse capital of the world. And honestly, it's one of the most incredible events that you could ever experience. There's so much to it, so much involved in it, but it's also on one of the most beautiful properties in the U.S. Chester, tell us a little bit about how Live Oak International got its start.
So 32 years ago, it started as a little club driving show. The local Florida Whips Driving Club came to my family and said, hey, we need a place to have the cross country from the show. And so they built a couple, obstacles, and it's really grown since then. It's big. I think 12 years ago, we added international show jumping. And it's grown into having a Longines World Cup qualifier on Sunday, I think broadcast in 17 countries live. And, hosted multiple national championships in carriage driving, and really has become a leader in carriage driving in the United States and helped grow this area into now is what is kind of a mecca of carriage driving in the United States. So a lot of fun things and great things to come for the 32nd edition of the Live Oak International.
Beautiful farm, beautiful property to have it on. Wonderful outdoors.
Great vendors.
Space. Yes.
It's always good vendors.
Yeah.
Great vendors. It's really a nice story too. It's it's green. It starts 2 weeks before the show. Tents start arriving and we start building it up, and then literally, about 10 days after the show, there are cows back out on this field, and it's kind of a nice green story, and it's really beautiful. The whole team at Live Oak does a great job to pull together and make the place look like a show place. And if you're a horse lover or not, it's certainly a beautiful day in the country.
Great. So tell us, I'm of course going to be at Media Day, which I always love. It's a wonderful experience. But tell us kind of after that what the series of events are that people should be at and what kind of experiences they're going to have.
Sure. So we have Thursday is primarily filled with carriage driving dressage. Friday morning has our new sort of youth group of carriage driving dressage, which is about the cutest thing with a carriage. Little kids from 6 to 12. And then exactly. It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
So that's super fun and nice. And then at around 1 o'clock we start into show jumping. And Saturday morning kicks off bright and early, I think at 8 a.m. with driving cross country. And that runs on till about 1 o'clock. Then the Budweiser Clydesdales do a demonstration. And then after the Budweiser Clydesdales do their routine, we have stadium jumping and a big jumping class. And then on Sunday, we have carriage driving cones until about noon, and then Longines World Cup qualifier, show jumping in the afternoon.
So not much going on, really.
No, it's just a little thing.
A little show.
Yeah. A little show. That's incredible, and people get to come and see the Budweiser Clydesdales in action, which of course is quite an experience always. They always put on such a wonderful show. But to have the opportunity to see this kind of caliber of driving around these obstacles
is going to be great.
The obstacles are the best part of it.
Yeah, it's really neat. Saturday morning at Live Oak has really become something of, I bump into people who have no real interest in horses, and I'm like, well, it's nice to see you here. What's going on? Oh, well, I came to see Ben-Hur. This is the greatest thing in the world. And people come out and they're tailgating and wonderful food, and it's a great event for the community in a picturesque kind of park setting. And if the weather gods cooperate with us, it'll be a beautiful thing.
And then you have other activities going on. You have the vendor village, which is always wonderful. There's always a number of really interesting vendors and food and all sorts of other goodies.
Food trucks and vendor villages and beer garden and Advent Health Kids Zone, and there's just something for everybody. And at $10 a ticket, it's really reasonable.
There's nothing that you can do for $10.
I think for $5 for seniors and children, we've tried to keep it really affordable because, and I've always sort of said that there's a place for everybody. If you're into champagne and caviar, our VIP tent has everything you need, and if you're into potato chips and Budweiser, we have that too.
To have it all. Now, you talked about, before the show, you mentioned you have a record number of drivers coming, and they're coming from all over the world.
Yeah, so we have 61 driving entries, which is about 20% higher, frankly, than normal. And then we have also record jumping entries and the likes of McLean Ward and Ken Farrington, so the U.S. Olympic team, and riders flanking them that are coming from, frankly, I think 19 nations right now are on the list. So it'll be a really international spectacle. Everybody vying for a spot to go to Omaha to the World Cup Finals of show jumping, and so it should be really great sport on Sunday too.
And you must have an absolutely phenomenal team because you have to compete too.
They make me compete.
Yeah, because it's more exciting when you see Chester going through the obstacles because he's not going slow.
No.
And you don't get it from the video there. When they're going and you're standing right beside it, it is fast.
No, one of these days I'm going to talk him into letting me be the ballast on the back.
Yeah, come on.
I want a seatbelt.
Come on. It's really great. We have a fantastic team. They're just, a lot of them are people that I've met sort of through the years competing internationally, and nationally I've met people, and I've always said if I find somebody out there that I see working and hard and doing great things at 6:30 in the morning, and I see them again at the horse show at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, hold on, what's your name? Where are you from? But it takes a village to produce the event. There's a bunch of local companies and national companies that all come together to make for what is a beautiful event. And of course, it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. But it's a real spectator horse event and a lot of fun for everybody.
It really is, and it's one of a kind, isn't it? There's nothing else really like it anywhere.
No, it isn't, and it's really fun too because it's all about the crowd and the spectator. You know, most horse events in North America are competitor centric. You know, the customer is the competitor. For us, the customer is the crowd, and the sponsor, and the competitor is an athlete. It's about sport at the highest level, and I grew up thankfully with a mom who, horsemanship and sportsmanship were paramount to everything we did growing up, and so it's really become a great showcase of sportsmanship and horsemanship.
Chester, hats off to you and the team. That means we're out. All those goodies right there are actually from our sponsors for
Fantastic.
you.
Thank you.
Piled them up for
fantastic.
you. So those are all for you.
Come out and see Live Oak and have some fun.
Look at that. I cannot emphasize enough that Live Oak International is an event you do not have to be a horse person at all for. Everybody is going to have a wonderful time, and everybody's going to enjoy the most fantastic event we have, in my opinion, in the horse capital of the world. Thank you, Chester, very much.
Come out and see us, and hopefully, if I get things done well, we'll be able to string our 20th national championship.
Yes, 20th. Woohoo! We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Final segment for 2023.
Oh.
Can you believe it? Brought to you by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa. Last time I'll say it this year.
That's right. It's hard to believe 2023 has absolutely flown by, and what a year it's been. It's been a year of some trials and tribulations and some ups and downs. It's been some wonderful times. It's been crazy. That's right.
Hey, who are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Dancing Pete Rhoda. Funny you should mention that. So the best thing about 2023, Pete, tell us.
I think one of the best things of 2023 for me is being part of the Horse Talk Show and bringing back how I feel when I'm around you and getting to get out my horsemanship out to the world and help everybody with their horse and get that relationship back.
That's awesome.
That's my highlight is being on the show because it's really meant a lot to me.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, and Maria with Midnight Rose Equestrian, you've had some trials this year, but But we're making the turn, aren't we?
Yep. Turning the canoe.
All good things coming, and a new farm for us out in Fort McCoy, just a couple miles from my family. And although it's been a challenge, I've teamed up with some absolutely phenomenal people. Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, Equifence, just some phenomenal Wildlife Works, just some phenomenal people who have come out and helped pull everything together so that I could bring my horses home before 2024 and have a place in the country not far from my family.
So what is your highlight of 20?
Well, that has to be it, right?
No, it's all
new
that.
Home, new life.
There you go.
New start, fresh start, just good things, and big things coming for the show, bigger things, greater things for the future. I know
she's getting a new co-host. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
She's getting rid of me.
Speaking of Pete, what about his tip of the week?
Dancing Pete's tip of the week, brought to you by Complimentary Horsemanship. All right, today's 2023 last tip of the week is similar to what I did for the Christmas one, which is play kids games with your horses, except for this time, let's do Simon Says. So when you life up, Simon says, do what I'm asking. When I life down, that means don't do anything different. Keep doing what you're doing. So if you said, Simon says, raise your hand, and then I said, put it down, you should keep your hand up. So when you're on the ground or riding your horse, if I ask for the trot, it should be, I life up for that transition. They go up to the trot, and then I go neutral, going with them, so that they know, keep doing that because Simon didn't say anything more. What a lot of people do is they keep on saying Simon says, and then they are into the canter and they go, I didn't ask for that. Well, yes, you did, because you kept your life going up and got bigger. So that's Simon Says, even bigger. So, or they won't go forward because you never life up, or everything means something because you never do Simon Says. So eventually they go, okay, I guess everything means something. So go play Simon Says with your horse by lifing up when you're asking for something and lifing down when you're not asking, or when they get the right answer.
Did I ever tell you my brother's name is Simon?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you always have to do what Simon says.
Okay, I think I believe that.
No, it's true.
Okay.
He might be my younger brother, but you always have to do what Simon says. I said, yeah, that's just the way it is.
There you go. But that's the tip of the week.
And I'm sure Horse Talk Show has to go to the dogs, right?
That's right.
I think Horse Talk Show has to.
The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil Hennessy, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch. Socialize your dog. There's loads of places in Ocala that are dog friendly. So take your dog out, go to a restaurant, sit on the patio, have your dog with you, go to some of the hardware stores, go downtown, walk around the square. Take your dog out. It'll be fun for you, it'll be fun for your dog, some good mental stimulation for the dog to get out and see different things, and it's a little bit of exercise. Remember, they're our best friends. Let's go have fun with them.
So we were talking about some of the best things this year, and I have to say that getting to know Neil has been one of the most amazing things. So many wonderful things that's brought to the table for us, as well as helping me when I was needing to rehab Aslan, and he was needing to be walked so many times a day from his injury. And just getting to know Neil, what a wonderful guy he is, and what a great facility. And then that culminating in a wonderful adoption event this year for so many unwanted dogs, and just the big heart that he has for dogs. Such a great guy. So,
and we found out he doesn't like to be called Uncle Neil, so I had to stop calling him Uncle Neil, even though I liked it, but he didn't. So I respected that.
Well, that's been a wonderful part of this year, certainly, and a lot of wonderful partnerships, a lot of wonderful people that we brought together. And, you know, one of the things I'll say, about this show, of course, has been a best of show. And that doesn't mean that we haven't loved every segment that we've had with every guest. When you have to narrow it down to a few, it's really, really difficult, because we've had so many wonderful segments with so many wonderful folks. And we've been blessed to just engage with some of the, honestly, I think some of the finest circle of people in the world.
Yeah, we haven't had a bad guest this whole year.
No, we haven't. We haven't had, and we've had just wonderful educational pieces with folks that really care about our four-leggeds, whether it be a dog or a horse, and that they care so much that they want to share this information. And nobody is salesy about it. Everybody is, hey, we're here if you need help. We'll come and take a look. And I love that about them. We'll come and take a look. There's no obligation for anything. They just want to share a wealth of information from our veterinarians, electricians, AC folks. They want to help you. And, just because you're a horse person doesn't mean you don't go to restaurants, that you don't need a good AC, that you don't need a safe electrician, a safe electrical system in your place and a good electrician to come help you. So all these things are important, and horse people do take vacations and need to drop their dogs off somewhere,
right.
Or maybe want to have them go and learn how to dog
So
dive.
if you have one of those things that we may need, give us a call and we may get a sponsorship and you jump on the show with us and
we can share your interesting facts. We call it the finest in equine edutainment because we feel like it's educational, but there's also an entertaining aspect to it. We love sharing our local people in this area that can come out and help you, and when you're a horse owner, especially multiple horses, you've got enough on your plate with feeding and care and all the chores and everything that's involved in training, schooling, riding, competing. You need to know all those other things are just taken care of. So how wonderful to have a system here where we can send great people to you that we absolutely endorse on the show. So we've got some wonderful new partnerships this year. We've got lots of great things that are going to happen.
And we have some old partnerships. Piranha, thank you so
forever.
much.
Yeah, been with us for a long,
what you guys
long time.
do. Yeah. For us and for the community.
Absolutely. Supporting the Equine Initiative and so many other things that you do. Your phenomenal golf tournament this year, which was amazing. The Hobby Horse Equestrian Games was so much fun and such an outstanding event. The parade, seeing people competing on stick horses. And we've got lots of great new competitions coming on stick horses for next year. So just exciting things that are going on in the Ocala, Marion County area and beyond. And we are just thrilled that we're able to bring you all of that. We hope that you enjoyed this best of show. We hope you don't think it doesn't mean there were loads of other guests that were also best. And we've got lots of great guests coming for you in 2024.
Chris Cox.
Chris Cox, Buck Brannaman. There'll be some more. So
I'll bring you some tissues.
That's right.
Thanks.
But we're turning the corner. So this for 2023, this is it for the Horse Talk Show. So we will see you next year.
Here's to the next year of the Horse Talk Show.
The 11th year. And whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not, happy horsing around until next year.
See you next year.